chapter 13. This is about the creator and creation. See, all of us, like Swamiji always says, we are very enamored by the creation that we forget about the creator. So he gives a very beautiful example. He says, the magic and the magician. We are all the time very enamored by the magic that he does. We look at it, we are very happy about it. We forget who's the magician. Same thing is happening in life. We are living in this world, enjoying all the time, happy with whatever is going on, happy or sad. We do not think of the Supreme. So, for this, the example is something which is unimaginable. It is about a salt doll who goes to measure the depth of an ocean. That itself, the statement itself says it is such a trivial thing. But this small, whatever, everybody knows that it will dissolve within minutes, seconds. But that has got such a backstory, such an important conclusion from that. So here he says, unless you dissolve yourself in the Brahman, you will not be able to achieve that goal. So that is the example that has been given, but just by one salt doll which is going and falling into the sea, going to see the depth of the ocean. So it's a very small thing, but and another story is about a vegetarian tiger. See, this a mother tiger gives birth to a baby and dies. And there the sheep take care of this tiger. This baby tiger is taken care of by sheep. And it's playing with all those sheep, babies, all that is going on, and he thinks he's a sheep. He doesn't know he's a tiger at all because he's been brought up by the sheep. So he's bleating like them, he's eating grass, he's living like them in that crowd, but though he looks very different, but he's living inside that group. So then one day a tiger is passing by, he says, what's happening here? There's one tiger along with the sheep and eating grass. Something grossly wrong is happening. So he says, he tells him all kinds of things, but he doesn't believe. He says, no, I'm a sheep, I'm fine as I am. So then he takes him to the water and shows his reflection and tells him, see, you look just like me. You're not like the sheep. They look different, you look different. So now you move out. So here, again, what is it? It is just what we, individual jivas, we don't know who we are. We think I am so, I am this, I am that, my address, my Aadhaar card number, my PAN card number, my this, my father, my family. We are in that I. That I is our big thing in our head. But this is a story for that, to make us understand that we have to look inwards. So now it's chapter 14. The three gunas. We all know that Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, these three gunas, each individual, each one of us is a mixture of the three gunas in varying proportions. If Tamas dominates, you are a criminal. Sattva dominates, you are a saint. A mixture of these three is people like us. So in varying different times in our life, certain one of them will dominate. So that is how our life is going on. So a good balance between these three is what makes a good individual, good human being. So we cannot be 100% sattva or 100% tamas. So in this, the three robbers, there is a story of the three robbers who rob one fellow, as usual in the forest, they rob one person. They tie him up and leave him there. Fellow who is tamasic, he says, kill him. And he goes away. The next fellow says, you leave him, tie him here and leave him and go away. The third fellow says, anyway we have robbed him. Leave him, no, we'll take him to the main highway and leave him, let him go home. So this is the way this goes on in every mind. We all have these three in varying proportions during the day, during every day, every year, every time in our life. These are in varying proportions in our mind.
श्रीभगवानुवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलमधः शाखम् अश्वत्थम् प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तम् वेद स वेदवित् अधश्चोर्ध्वम् प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखा गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रवालाः अधश्च मूलान्यनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके न रूपमस्येह ततोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा ततः पदं तत्परिमार्जितव्यम् यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः तमेव चाद्यम् पुरुषम् प्रपद्ये यतः प्रवृत्तिप्रसृता पुराणी निर्माणमोहाजितसङ्गदोषा अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढा पदमव्ययम् तत् न तद्भासयते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमम् मम ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीरं यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात् श्रोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयानुपसेवते उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यात्मन्यवस्थितं यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानो नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः यदादित्यगतं तेजो जगद्भासयतेऽखिलं यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम् गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधी सर्वा सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम् सर्वस्य चाहं सन्निविष्टो मत्तः स्मृतिज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृद्वेदविदेव चाहं द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मेति दाहृतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य विवर्तव्यय ईश्वरः यस्माक्षरमतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रतितः पुरुषोत्तमः यो मामेवमसम्मूढो जानाति पुरुषोत्तमम् स सर्वविद्वदति माम् सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमम् शास्त्रम् इदमुक्तम् मया नघ एतद्बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे पुरुषोत्तमयोगो नाम पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः.
And these children have learnt it over a period of just 2-3 weeks. Brilliant. Very nice. Now we come to the 15th chapter. Purushottama Yoga. So see, till now, what we have understood is life here, and we go to one heaven, whichever, and come back. Cycle of birth, death, rebirth, death, that's how we are thinking. At some point here in this, that we should we should aim for the Purushottama, that is the Brahman. We should not think of this going and coming back, going and coming back. This cycle we have to break and we have to go ahead. That should be our target. We are always, thinking, do good, be good. Okay, we'll go and we'll come back. Doesn't matter. We'll do good, be good. We'll go back and come back. That's all is generally we think. But we have to go beyond that. So the aim is that we should target to go to attain that Brahman. Here, the story of Krishna. But anyway, I will tell you the story of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna was a saint, and he would go into samadhi very often, several times in a day. And in his life, it has been recorded that he would say to his devotees or people around him that, call me back, bring me back, otherwise I will go away. So he would say, come and recite a mantra in my ears, touch me, shake me, say something, bring me back from that samadhi. See, that the purpose of Sri Ramakrishna's life was that he would let people of this generation, this Kali Yuga, know what is samadhi. Because there is always a doubt in our mind whether there is a God at all. What is all this we are talking about? Sometimes when you look at it abstractly from a distance, you feel this is all some imagination. It's some fiction we are talking about. So he is like an avatara who came, said to explain to the world what is samadhi and what is his experience during samadhi. So he was the person among many others. In his life and in his Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, it has been given in great detail what is the vision that he has during his samadhi. Again, in this, we are all the time Purushottama, that is, we look at the Brahman means we look up, natural. I mean, that's the way we have all thought about it. So we look, Parabrahman means we look up. In this, the first shloka, they have said, it's an inverted Ashwatha tree. One wonders, what is the meaning? What is this example that they have given with an inverted Ashwatha tree? So, in this, we all know the roots of a tree is the most important part of a tree. Like the Parabrahman is to the cosmos, to the whole Brahmand. So here, that is why they have inverted, because we are used to seeing the Parabrahman on the top. They have inverted the tree to show that how important the root is to the tree. Then they have said the trunk is the root is the Parabrahman, trunk is the Brahman, branches are the cosmos, the leaves are the Vedas and Upanishads, and fruits are the living beings. So this tree has been given as an example, to explain where is this Parabrahman? And all of us, in several instances till now, I have said that, like Paramacharya has said, when you look at anything good, anything happening in this world, always think that it is because of the Almighty. So that Brahman is visible to us in the form of whatever is happening around us in the world. And also what is happening in our life which is beyond our control. All these things are because of that supernatural force. So just for us to get that little thought to go beyond what we are in this day-to-day life, this is the explanation for that. She'll sing a Uttukadu song, which is a very, very familiar song to all of us, which is a beautiful Krishna showing the universe in his mouth.
முந்தானாளந்தி நேரத்தில் சொந்தமுடன் கிட்டே வந்து விந்தைகள் அநேகம் செய்து விளையாடினான். முந்தானாளந்தி நேரத்தில் சொந்தமுடன் கிட்டே வந்து விந்தைகள் அநேகம் செய்து விளையாடினான். பந்தளவாகிலும் வெண்ணை தந்தால்தான் விடுவேன் என்று, பந்தளவாகிலும் வெண்ணை தந்தால்தான் விடுவேன் என்று முந்துயிலை தொட்டிழுத்து போராடினான். அந்த வாசுதேவன் இவன்தான், யசோதா அந்த வசுதேவன் இவன்தான் அடி யசோதா அந்த வசுதேவன் இவன்தான் அடி யசோதா மைந்தன் என்றெடுத்தணைத்து மடிமேல் வைத்து சுந்தர முகத்தை பார்க்கும் வேளையிலே வாய் திறந்து சுந்தர முகத்தை பார்க்கும் வேளையிலே வாய் திறந்து இந்திரஜாலம் போலவே இருளுலகம் காண்பித்தான் இந்திரஜாலம் போலவே இருளுலகம் காண்பித்தான் தாயே யசோதா உந்தன் ஆயர் குல துரித்த மாயன் கோபால கிருஷ்ணன் செய்யும் ஜலத்தை கேளடி தாயே.
So beautifully, this song, all of us must have heard it several times, many years. We've been hearing it from childhood. So now we come to the 16th chapter, the divine and demonic qualities. See, all of us have a combination of both. So here the stories are very simple, which all of us know. So one is the dog and the bone. Dog has a bone in his mouth, and when he's crossing a bridge, he sees the reflection and he sees that the reflection bone is looking bigger. So he wants that, greed. So he wants that. So he opens his mouth and he loses his whatever he had also. So it's a very simple thing to say that greed cannot lead us to happiness. And next is the story of a queen. See, this is the story of Draupadi. See, Draupadi was a very beautiful maiden in her past birth, in her previous birth. So at that time, she was not getting married. She does a lot of tapasya and asks Shiva for a boon. So in that, she just goes berserk. She asks all kinds of things. She says, he should be handsome, he should be a warrior, he should be a good archer, he should be a spiritual person, he should be this, that, all kinds of things. And then it became impossible to put all those qualities in one individual. So that is why in the next birth, she gets 5 husbands. So when we ask also, we have to be very careful. We should not ask for some atrocious thing. At the end of it, you'll get into trouble like this. She got 5 husbands. So these are like, even when we are very sensible and good, sometimes our mind does wrong things. So how to prevent all that? For all that, ultimately it is only bhaja, the name of the Lord at the bottom of your heart throughout the day, even at the busiest time of the day when you are working. The name of the Lord is the most important thing at the bottom of your heart. Then another story is about the thirsty crow. Where there is a will, there is a way. So this is a very simple story. Everybody knows these stories. But what it tries to tell us is, it was such a tough task. First of all, I don't know how the crow knew that you can throw stones and the water level will come up. But very intelligent crow. But he did it. And he was very tired, very thirsty. But he had faith that he would succeed. And he had the confidence that what he would do would produce results. These are things that we have to build up. This is very important for all our children who are so easily go into depression. See, we are seeing all kinds of things in the hospitals nowadays. Young children, we never knew the meaning, we never knew the word depression when we were children. Today the children themselves come and tell us that I am feeling depressed. So that's the way the world is changing today, which is very unfortunate. So, and our scriptures give us so much strength by giving us so many examples, so many stories. If only we all read and tell these stories to our children, this situation will not arise at all. Again, in the story of the rabbit and the tortoise. This also we all know. Only thing is the overconfidence of the of the rabbit, and ultimately the tortoise. See, slow and steady wins the race was a beautifully explained in this. So these are all the things brought such big thoughts, like the 17th from the 16th chapter, 17th chapter of the Gita is explained by these small stories. So all of you know these stories, but when it comes to saying that, oh, we have to read or chant a shloka from the Gita, everybody feels, no, that's not our job. That's only when we become 60 years later, then only we will do it. So it's not needed. These stories are all associated with such big thoughts. Now we go to chapter 17. This has been explained by man who never gave up. That is, he is one man is sitting on the banks of the river, and he is doing a yajna. Continuously he is doing a yajna. But his aim is that he has to learn the Vedas. People are telling him that you will not be able to learn the Vedas by doing yajna. You have to change your methodology. First go find a guru, go and learn from there. But he doesn't understand that. He goes on doing this only. Then after some time, he is continuing to do that. Indra is supposed to have come and told him also, change your method. This method is not the right way. You will not reach anywhere. Change your method. So then after some time, he sees that one old man is sitting on the banks of the river and throwing handfuls of sand into the river. So he goes and asks him, what are you trying to do? So he says, I'm going to build a bridge on this river so that, it's easy for everybody to go to the opposite side. So then he tells him, you're throwing handfuls of sand into the river. When will it ever happen? And is this the way you can build a bridge on this river? So then he understands that there is a method. There is a method for doing everything. And also, you better listen to somebody who gives you the right advice. Don't think that you are the best, you know everything. I don't need to take anybody's advice. I am as though I am immortal. It's not like that. There are reasons why somebody tells you something. So we have to take that as a... So here again in the 17th chapter, they have told there is a lot of discussion about the types of food that we eat. And the food that you eat is responsible for your persona, your behavior, your attitude, everything. So that is why when we say, at least on certain days, most people here are vegetarians. But even in that we say on certain days, don't have this, don't have that, which children are not able to understand. So it's very important that this is explained through there are shlokas here which are explaining that tamasic food leads to this kind of behavior. Sattvic food leads to this kind of behavior. So there is a reason for everything, scientific as well as spiritual. So we should take both. Now we have come to the last chapter. Finally, Nirvana. How are we all going to attain Nirvana? Giving up ego is the simplest thing that is said, very easily said, only 3 letters, ego, give it up, ho jayega Nirvana. It's not very easy. So here the story is about a hermit, Kaushika. Kaushika is meditating under a tree. Kaushika is meditating under a tree. And during the course of that, a crane is sitting on the top and droppings of that fall on his head. He instantaneously gets very angry and he is very... and he looks up at that crane and that crane gets burnt. So for a moment I don't know, it's not mentioned whether he was upset at all, but he was very happy to see that, oh my God, I have got such powers. That was his ego. In spite of all this tapasya that he is doing, oh my God, I've got such wonderful powers that I'm able to burn even just by looking at it. So then after this, as usual, next day morning, he goes to somebody's house. As a Brahmin, he has to go and ask for food. He goes to one lady's house for alms. And that lady comes out after some time. She makes him wait, and he's waiting. So she is taking care of her husband. She is a pativrata lady. She finishes her duties towards her husband, and then she gets up and comes and looks at him. She sees that this fellow is very irritated. So then she tells him, "I am no crane." So this fellow is astonished. He says, "How do you know what happened in the forest?" So she says, "I know. I am a pativrata and I have done so much of the tapasya. I know what is in your mind. I can see that you are getting irritated, and I have done my duty, and I have come to offer you whatever, and this is it. So there is no purpose in getting angry." Then she sends him off to a Vyadharaj. This Vyadharaj is a butcher by profession. So he goes there and he's standing outside waiting for that butcher to finish his job. He's naturally, any one of us, if we go and sit outside a butcher's shop, we'll feel disgusted. So he was also disgusted. But anyway, so after that, he goes home with that Vyadharaj, and he sees that he does all his daily rituals, and he takes care of his parents. After that, he comes and sits and talks with him. So then he asks him, why do you do this kind of this job? What is the purpose? Why do you do? You are such a learned person. You have learned, you have read very well, you are an evolved person. Why are you doing this kind of a demeaning job? So then he explains to him, no job is low. This is the profession I know. My father, my grandfather, my whole family has forever been doing this. I'm continuing to do what I'm supposed to be doing. That I have qualified myself, otherwise is a part of my life. But this is the way So what this teaches us is, at the end of the day, is that we have to understand, that is, Lord Krishna said that there is no real difference between a karma yogi and a sannyasi. Truly, there is no difference. Both these paths end up in the same. But we feel a sannyasi is easier to go. Karma yogi people will take longer. He has explained very clearly that whichever yoga you follow. It is just like Sri Ramakrishna's life. There is a story which says, to reach the terrace, you can take a ladder, you can climb the stairs, you can climb a tree and go there, or you can take a lift, or you can be carried. Whichever way you go, you will reach the terrace. That is the example. That is exactly what is said in the Gita. He says, whichever path you take, ultimately you will reach the top, provided you do that sincerely. That's the...
Mokshamu galada bhuvilo jivan mokshamu galada bhuvilo jivan mokshamu galada bhuvilo jivan mukulu karani varalaku mokshamu galada bhuvilo jivan mukulu gani varalaku mokshamu galada sakshat karani sakshat karani sadbhakti sakshat జ్ఞాన విహీనులకు మోక్షము గలదా భువిలో జీవన్ ముక్తులు గాని వారలకు మోక్షము గలదా ఆ ఆ
Here, Tyagaraja questions whether it is possible to attain moksha without seeking God with bhakti at all. Bhakti and music go together. All the compositions of all our composers, great saints, there is bhakti. Without bhakti, there is no music for us. So that is what his main statement here is that. So now we have managed to complete the 18 chapters with, I think, 26 stories. Maybe I have not done justice to all the parts of, but at least I have tried to give a insight, an introduction into every chapter. And now I would like to just summarize in a couple of minutes. I would like to summarize. See, the simplest way to reach the Lord in Kali Yuga is Sankirtana, which I think all of us here are doing Sankirtana in some form or the other. Collective singing of your divine name. That's it. So that is one. Then I believe those from the Treta Yuga and Dwapara Yuga also want to be born in Kali Yuga because it is easy to attain moksha from here. So this is written there. So I'm just... And then the sloka, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. That is, he has simplified it to such an extent for us. He says, one flower, one leaf, Patram, one flower, Pushpam, one fruit, and a little bit of water. You offer this to me, with genuine bow down and offer this to me, I am very happy. And how did this Patram come? So, see, we all know the story of Tulabharam by Satyabhama. Nothing, the thing was Krishna on one side and the balance is not moving at all. And Satyabhama has kept everything, all her possessions, all her riches, everything. But Rukmini comes and puts one tulasi on it and it moves. So that is tulasi, this patram. Pushpam, in Gajendra Moksham, Gajendra calls Adi Moolame, and he offers that one lotus. So that one flower is enough. And Phalam, Shabari, she offers the fruit to Rama. That fruit is enough. So these are the ways. They have just said Patram, Pushpam, Phalam. One leaf, one fruit, one flower, and a little water. They have simplified it to such an extent for all of us in Kali Yuga. So that little bit we can do. And there are another one point is, there is Markata Riti Sharanagati and Marjala Riti Sharanagati. See, now the comparison is between a baby monkey and a baby cat, a kitten. A baby monkey holds on to the mother monkey and the mother is jumping here and there. 90% it doesn't fall, but there is a chance it can fall. So here, when we hold on to God, there is chance that we will not succeed. But when he holds on to us, like how a kitten is held by the Marjala Riti Sharanagati, that is when a kitten is holding on, cat is holding on to the kitten will never fall. Kitten will never fall. The cat will take care. So same way, if we reach that level, he will take care. We have already reached that level. We have to only believe that we have reached that level. If we do that kind of Sharanagati, he will anyway take care.
See, just like if a tree is full of birds, if you clap your hands under the tree, all the birds will fly away. All the birds will fly away. And Same way, if you do japa, you do repeat the name of the Lord, do Sankirtana, all the sins will fly away. This is again from Sri Ramakrishna's life. Paramacharya has said that, see, we are all passing on thoughts and this and that. If a thought has to revolutionize the society, the person who is passing on that thought should live it. He should be an evolved person. Only then that thought will change the society. So that is such an important. So he has said, he himself has given the example of Sri Ramakrishna, Ramana Maharshi, Aurobindo and everybody, and said that I pray that I am able to elevate myself to that level that what I say works. And in a beautiful statement he has said, when people were laughing at some saints doing miracles, like Vibhuti or what, all those kind of miracles. So he has very nicely he has put it saying, they are using their level of bhakti or level of spirituality to please you, to give a boon to you. Look at it like that. Don't make fun of it. It is not fun. They are losing their spirituality to help you. So look at it like that. So these are all a few statements which I have been coming across. So I thought in one go, let me share it. I think now I have completed. Thank you very much. And she is going to sing the Gita Aarti.
भगवन्मुख जाते अम्ब परिहृत भवभीते भक्त जनहृति शीते अम्ब जय 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 गीते अम्ब जय 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 गीते भारत मध्य गते अम्ब बदरायण कथिते भक्ति ज्ञान विरक्ति निधे अम्ब जय 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 गीते अम्ब जय 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 गीते ब्रह्मादिक सुर विनुते अम्ब प्रेमिक भक्त हिते पावन पद महिते अम्ब जय 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 गीते अम्ब जय 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 गीते अम्ब जय 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 गीते.
Thank you very much for giving a patient hearing.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful session. We were fully engrossed and learned a lot from this session. There is a lot more to think about and learn from. Thank you, Dr. Girija Krishnan, Kumari Vembu Pushkala, and all the children. Now, I request Shri Setu Raman, President of Kalasagaram, to honor Dr. Girija Krishnan and Kumari Vembu Pushkala with a memento.
Dr. Girija Krishnan, audience, organizers of Vidya Parampara. At the outset, I would like to congratulate Vidya Parampara for holding such a wonderful session. See, I also congratulate the children as well as the parents and the extended family for participating in such a function. Once again, congratulate everyone and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Girija Krishnan to hand over a appreciation gift to the children. Shreyanvi, Shankar, Sai Sutir, Shriya, Shrestha, Joshika, Shreyas. Thank you, ma'am.